Dopamind is a nonprofit. We're 501(c)(3), and we, pretty simply put, try to help people have a healthier relationship with technology. Primarily kids is our focus. So we teach kids the brain science behind technology so they can make healthy choices. And by kids, I primarily mean kindergarten through 12. So this includes teens as well. And we teach a lot of social emotional learning as well. So kind of teaching them about social considerations like social comparison, FOMO, social exclusion. I know a lot of the things that you've asked me about, and then how that relates to technology as well. We do this through school courses. We provide like teaching materials. So teachers can teach our material or we can teach the material, either way. So our focus is to work with schools on an ongoing basis with this issue because it's not a one and done issue. We do make content for kids. We do not ever target kids on social media, but we have like online courses where if you're a mom, you can have your kid take our course like maybe before they get a phone, right? Or if you're a teen, you can learn about digital wellness online. So I know I've said a lot, but primarily our work is in schools.
No, I love that. That's so important. And especially to bring that into the school systems. I think it's something that's not often discussed or brought to people's attention. Was there a passion or a reason behind you founding this organization?
Yeah, so ironically, I am in the ecosystem of big tech. So
Okay.
I have been a social media marketer since 2007, which sounds like 100 years ago, and it is because that was the very beginning of
Yes.
social media like becoming widespread. It existed obviously before that, but 2007 was sort of that tipping point where many people started to join. In the early 2010s, that's when the algorithms kicked in and the machine learning and the way we know it today really was in the 2010s. So I've always been on the inside of this. I've always understood it. And because of that, I've always limited it for my kids. Many people that are in the tech industry limit it for their kids because we just know too much. And I just started to see, so this was over the pandemic, which you probably remember. You were probably in school during that
Yeah.
time. Obviously a very hard time, and we all went online because we had to, right? And I just started to see the effects inside my own family with my kids. Even though we limited to tech, we were all having screen time battles at home. Our kids were all having a hard time with it. So I got together with my co-founder, who's a best-selling children's book author and science communicator. She writes STEM books and goes all over the country communicating STEM topics to kids. And first, we created a video, and then very soon after, we developed elementary curriculum, and now we have K all the way through college, actually, curriculum for everybody can learn, including parents as well and teachers. Kind of filling a need where at the time, and I honestly to this day probably I don't know of another org that really focuses on the mental health aspect specifically. Like there's plenty of people doing digital citizenship or media literacy, things like that. But we really focus on the feelings aspect. So I think that's our sweet spot. And so that was what I thought was missing. There was nothing I could show my kids that would teach them what was going on in their brain and in their body in like a kid way at the time.
You wanted to go further into what those feelings are. And I guess on the flip side of that, I know you said a lot of your curriculums and online materials, a lot of them are for parents and teachers to introduce or to learn to teach the children and teens. But
Yeah.
is there a way that you describe it, if there are children, teens in the audience, a way that can get through to them that's easier and that they understand?
I mean, we try to keep it as simple as possible. And honestly, not just for the kids, for everyone. Like,
Okay.
people are not tech savvy, people are not scientists. Like, we look at it as our job to strip this down and make it as easy to understand as possible. Let's just start with maybe the buzzword of like the dopamine, right? The foundation of our name. So it's really not that technology gives us like big dopamine hits, right? Which is what the way some people describe it. But what it does is it gives us lots of quick dopamine with little effort. You can go on social media, and every time you swipe, every time you get a like, every time you get a comment, you're getting a little bit of dopamine for doing nothing. Versus like for a kid, I don't know, maybe you're playing a soccer match, right? You have to run around, you have to go back and forth. A goal might come, but it's going to take a lot of effort and more time. Tech is actually designed to give us lots of quick dopamine rewards, and we teach them why. Like, let's really think about that. They either want to show us ads, or in the case of like video games, they want to maybe sell us in-app purchases. We also teach them, so you asked about the feelings aspect. We teach them Dr. Anna Lemke's metaphor of the pleasure pain balance, basically teaching homeostasis in the brain. So, what happens is when we're getting lots of quick dopamine rewards from tech, and by the way, it's not just tech, there's other things in our culture that do this. Our balance gets weighted really heavily to the happy side, the pleasure side. But what goes up must come down. So, after you're done, your teeter-totter is going to tip to that pain side, and it will eventually, your brain will naturally want to level that out, but you have to kind of wait for that to happen. But the problem is when it goes to the pain side, that response is stronger and longer. So kids feel like that's why you don't feel good after you've been scrolling. That's why you don't feel good after your mom takes your iPad, right? If you sit with it for a while, it will even out. But typically, we want to overcorrect, right? And then hit those rewards longer so that we can feel normal, we can feel good. So we're just in this constant state of up and down. It's
Okay.
just sort of not natural. Dopamine's not a bad thing. Like it's an evolutionary principle. It's something that we've had since we were hunter gatherers. But like I said earlier, it used to be like a lot of effort to get a little bit, and it was something that kind of kept us motivated, kept us wanting to accomplish things, learn things, discover things, where now we're being fed it to keep us
We're
interested.
so used to the alerts, the notifications, and everything, but obviously they're designed in a way to keep you coming back.
It's not a fair fight. The
No.
system is definitely rigged against us as individuals.
Do you think kids are responsive to this? Like, have you heard from parents or teachers that have seen an improvement in their kids' mental health due to this curriculum or changing the way that they're using technology?
Look, awareness is key, obviously.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to kids, it really is up to the parents. It's not a fair fight for adults. It's really not a fair fight for young people. Young people, you don't have a fully formed brain until you're 25, right? And the part of the brain that would help pump the brakes on this, possibly, right? The prefrontal cortex is what it's called, that is responsible for good judgment and being able to sort of stop yourself from impulses, things like that. So yeah, awareness is huge, but when it comes to kids, at the end of the day, it's about the parents to help them put in those boundaries, because it's like it's impossible for a kid without a fully formed brain to stop it themselves. But I will say what we have heard a lot of feedback on, because we do use a lot of metaphors and things that kids can understand, we present it in a super fun way, is that
Okay.
they're understanding the material. I would say not till maybe junior or senior year in high school are we hearing from teens, because we also have a youth initiative where we help teens like get educated and kind of become leaders in their own communities on this issue. But that happens much later. By that age, they've really just seen the effects on their communities and their friends and maybe themselves. Anyway, I would say for younger kids, changing habits, it's on the parents. And then
Yes.
for teens, for sure. But again, I would still double down on people are powerless, especially at younger ages. And then add to that the social aspect, right? Where if all your friends are on Snapchat, if all your friends are in this world, like you do feel trapped, and it almost feels impossible to make change yourself, because you cannot go at this alone, whether you're a parent, whether you're a single school, whether you're a teen. There's like incremental changes you can make, and we can all just forgive ourselves too, where it's like, hey, it's not your fault. We've got these companies that are worth trillions of dollars against one person. Like, that is never going to be fair.
That awareness is huge. And like you said, it's something I never thought about, but I guess for the kids aspect, if you're just on an iPad, you're playing games, you don't understand what's
Yeah.
going on. You don't understand the science behind that or what they're targeting. But for the teen side, I mean, I'm also 22, so it's something that I'm more aware of because I can see changes in myself or
Yeah.
habits on social media or on technology. Do you guys also dive into the aspect of social media and technology that can cause people to, compare themselves, or different timelines, like more of the comparison aspect with mental health and how all of
Yeah.
those tie in?
Go really deep in that in the high school
Okay.
and college material, but I'll give you kind of like the basics. We teach about social comparison, we teach
Okay.
about FOMO, and then we teach about social exclusion, right? So these are things that have always existed. These are things that are natural for humans. We always compare ourselves to other humans. You're comparing yourself to billions of people online, right? And then not only are you comparing yourself, so it's a much bigger comparison set, but you're comparing yourself to unrealistic, you
Hmm.
representations of all
Oh
those
yeah.
people, right?
Of
You've got
course.
filters, you've got, just ways that we can enhance not just the way we look, but curate our lives online. So it's a quantity thing, and then it's like a quality thing in that these are not realistic comparisons. Then you've got FOMO, which all of these companies drive FOMO. So with video games, because I think video games are under talked about, but there'll be like the limited edition drops. Like I have to be on because there's this drop and all my friends are on. And also with video games, like there's social media hidden inside. So it's like, well, all my friends are on because, and I can see that. So I need to be on. Social media breeds FOMO because what I talked about, but also, the influencers and the people that are, much more, again, these are fake curated lives, but still
Yeah.
you're still comparing yourselves to those. So then there's that aspect to it. And then there's the exclusion. So we touched on that earlier, but that is well, everybody's on it. My whole social world's on it. And I feel like I'm going to die if I don't go on Snapchat. I mean, that is like a really real feeling. It's so, so hard. But those are the things we teach about. And we do ask the kids too to kind of like think about that, like kind of be kind to the person that doesn't have the phone and kind of think about like how that must be feeling to them, right? And then I mean the comparison is impossible because you're going to do it anyway. It's natural, but at least again having that awareness that this is a thing and that it's normal, right? But that these platforms supercharge this thing that is a very normal human thing.
I think especially like as a young woman, I mean, I'm very, like you said, it's very easy to be aware of that, these are everyone's best moments or they're edited pictures, but it's so easy to compare yourself. And I just try to remind myself that first of all, it's a highlight reel. And second of all, your chapter 1 or 2 can look completely different than someone's chapter 10 in their career and their lifestyle. And of course, that is just plastered everywhere on social media.
Yeah, and I'll just add one more thing because they've
Yeah.
studied this and there's a science behind this as well. The part of your brain that consciously knows it's not real is not the part of your brain that is comparing. So it doesn't matter if you know that it's not real. You're still not going to feel good because your brain is still going to make those comparisons. So yeah, that in that case it goes well beyond comparison. It's almost like you have to abstain if you really want
Yeah.
to not feel it?
Absolutely. And then I guess just personally, are there any like techniques or tools that you use?
And there's a million of them. And I'm actually writing a book right now where I'm going to put
Oh
together
my
a
goodness.
hundred of them because there's so many. But I'll give you a couple things that work for me. For parents, I would just say less is more, later is better, is just like the easiest way I can put it. There's no hard rule of when, but in terms of smartphone, the research says, and the expert consensus is high school. So there's the Wait Till Eighth campaign. Jonathan Haidt, author of The Anxious Generation, also advocates for this. And the reason is a lot of the studies point to if you wait until 13 and up, mental health outcomes really go up. And then Jonathan Haidt talks about getting it out of middle school, which is like, I mean, you probably remember middle school is kind of like a really challenging time for kids. It's puberty, it's more that beginning of adolescence. So kind of getting it out of that time, just it's a statistical thing. Like the mental health outcomes really improve. There are so many screen time management apps that do work really well. I don't know if you've heard of Opal. They are, I think, the best one. We partner with them for Dopamind for high school. So every kid gets it installed on their phone. The school controls what's locked down, but it's like a 24-hour thing, right? So it's teaching kids to have a better relationship 24 hours and kind of compete to lower their time. So I do recommend that. And there's so many simple things you can do. Just turn off your notifications, put your home screen, remove your apps from the home screen. Like there's a million little tips and tricks like that. You can set time limits. So even if you want to go on Instagram, maybe you say, I'm only going to go for 15 minutes a day. And at least you're getting less comparisons, you're getting less ads, you're getting less of all the things we talked about. Those are just a few. There's, again, I'm going to write a book with 100. It's not a one size fits all, unfortunately. I wish
Yeah.
it was.
No, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate this. I admire your nonprofit and I will continue to follow and to learn more too. It's